Welcome to Unrestricted, the show where we hear from incredible women who live life on their own terms, who take care of their mind, body, and soul while building successful businesses and projects they love. I'm your host, Athena Simpson. I'm a serial entrepreneur and life and business optimization coach and educator who helps women uncover their superpowers so they can thrive at life and work without compromise. I went from being deeply depressed, self-loathing, and unhealthy to living an exciting and fulfilling life, running a business that I love. I feel stronger, healthier, and happier than I ever have before. It took a lot of work and exploration to get to this point, and I'm still learning every day. I want you to have an unfiltered view into the reality of transformation with clear, tangible takeaways that you can apply to your life and career or business to help you get more unrestricted. So put your phone into do not disturb, minimize any distractions, and let's dive into today's episode. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Unrestricted Live. Today's guest is such an interesting woman. She's hit multiple six figures, had a really incredible journey from being bullied as a young woman to deciding that she was going to walk to the beat of her own drum. She is a social media and marketing expert, and I came across her with her training on Telegram, this new channel that is completely uncensored and has all of these features and exciting things for me as a productivity coach, for someone that teaches people how to get off their phones. I was like, okay, I'm really interested in what she's doing. And I dove deeper into her story, and she's just absolutely fascinating. So on today's episode, we talked about how long it takes to earn money, how to tap into your energy and your human design, and how you can use that in your business. We talked about Telegram and all the great features and how to avoid censorship or to avoid being canceled by jumping onto this exciting channel, and how we were a little bit different growing up and how stepping into our authentic selves has worked for us. She is a mom of four, incredible human. I'm really excited to share this episode with you. So strap in. You are in for a uncensored wild ride. I am so excited to talk to today's guest. Please help me and welcome Chelsie Kenyon.
Woo-hoo. Hello, I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited too. We have been through some really interesting things to get here. Third time's a charm. We're actually making it happen. The last time we tried to speak, both of us, she is in California, I'm in Tulum. We had power outages. It's absolutely crazy. So I'm really excited you're here today, Chelsie. And if you can, please introduce yourself. Tell us where you're tuning in from.
So I am from Southern California, born and raised, lived here all my life.
Tell us a little bit about what you currently do, what your business is.
Yeah. So I started really focusing on social media and communicating on social media because what I noticed when I first started my own business about 3 years ago was that people were really stuck on starting the conversation. Once they got the conversation going, they were fine, but it was starting the conversation. And I'm actually a manifester in human design, and manifestors were all about initiation and starting things. My specialty is helping people understand how to start a conversation on social media through posting, through engagement posts. And I've pretty much done that on Facebook exclusively. And then Facebook really just evolved into something that was totally out of alignment with who I am. Shutting people down, censoring people, when I'm the opposite. I'm like, no, speak your truth, say what you need to say. And guess what? We're all adults. We can all make our own decision. And it's like, who cares? Like, quit parenting people, right? And I struggled for a very long time to find a replacement. I mean, I've been on MeWe since 2015. I tried Gab. I tried Twitter. I tried well, Twitter's garbage now too, but I tried all the things. And I even was like, well, maybe I just need to go to email. So I tried doing email marketing for a while, but there's no back and forth, and it's not a conversation like it is on social media. So that's how I ended up getting onto Telegram, and I absolutely love the platform. So now I'm teaching people about it and just trying to spread the word, like, hey, we have another option. There's something else out there that really is founded on the same principles and has the same kind of vision and just the way that I think. The guy who started it thinks that same way too. He's like, keep the government out of it. I'm not censoring anybody. it's all allowed because he's like, listen, you guys are adults. I'm just a platform. I'm not going to go in and police you according to my beliefs. So I'm just out trying to spread the word about that. And then I'm always on the path of growth, spiritual growth, entrepreneurial growth. And I bumped into human design about 4 years ago. And so now I'm bringing that out to people too. So between Telegram and human design, those are my main things within the spectrum, within the overall umbrella and spectrum of sales and marketing. Because at the end of the day, that's my jam. I've been a salesman and a marketer my whole life. It's just in my blood. So that's kind of a rough idea of kind of what I'm doing now.
I love it. And for some background for those of you that are listening on how I actually found Chelsie, it was like, it's such a random thing, but probably very, part of your marketing. But I saw a comment on a Facebook group that you had left about Telegram, and I'm almost never in Facebook. So the fact that I even picked up on that, I don't even remember what group it was in. And I watched your training about Telegram, and I was like, I really like this because I teach productivity. I teach people about getting off their phones, and the features that you were pointing out about Telegram were really interesting to me because it gives us so much more control over the notifications, and even having things like folders to be able to manage the conversation so that we're not getting lost in there. I watched your training. I went through your email sequence. I bought your guides. I'm like, I never do this with anyone. I never do this with anyone. So there's something like this woman's obviously got her marketing on fire. And then I was in the Telegram group, and you mentioned your other group, and I went in there and I saw how passionate you were about Telegram also as a space for uncensored. So then I started looking at you, and I was like, this woman is a woman of my own heart, because at a very young age got told to tone it down and stop being you and la la la. And I decided to leave London, burn everything to the ground, run away and join the circus. And now it's very much finding myself, being myself, saying what I want to say again. And I really am drawn to bravery, especially with what's been happening over the last couple of years with the risk of being canceled and socially ostracized. And I love that you are speaking out and you're being vocal, and the fact that you're doing this strategically, both as Telegram as a channel for your business, because there's so many amazing features on it, but also from the fact that you're right. Why do we need to be parented? We are adults, Yeah,
exactly. Responsibility. Now we're being forced to take responsibility for other people's emotions and how they react to things. And it's like, what planet is that?
Yeah. So I was really excited to find you and also have this conversation. So I work with women on how they can become more productive and get out of their own way. And something that comes up a lot is oh, my human design is this, so I can't do those things. They're like, no, other people need to do things for me. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not how this works. You seem to bring together the spiritual and the business, the strategy side. Right. So if you could talk a little bit about that, how you use human design as a business tool.
Yeah. So that's the unfortunate thing, is that when we start labeling or compartmentalizing or taking this thing and going, oh, look, it says that I'm supposed to be like this, so this is how I'm going to be, or whatever. It happens with personality tests. It happens with astrology. And so, we can't be using that kind of stuff as an excuse to not get things done. In human design, there are different aura types, and some aura types have a direct connection to a consistent source of energy, being the sacral. So generators and manifesting generators, which make up 70% of the population, have a consistent source to energy. And so they're the ones that can really truly work day in and day out and be cool with it. They're really great to niche down on one thing, go all in, and do the long days on their passion project. And the other 30% aren't connected directly to that source of energy. Not to say, and I'm one of those non-energy types, not to say that I can't get stuff done, because it's not that we don't have energy. Our energy just works very differently. So for me as a manifester, I get these incredible urges to go do something. And so it'll be like this program, yes, sales page, boom, email sequence, boom. I will churn out more crap, more content, not crap, but content, course creation, videos, whatever, faster than any generator on the planet. So when a manifestor gets that urge, whoosh, it's like this, boom, we're going to go in like explosion of energy. And then we work. But the thing is once that energy is tapped out, we're like, oh, okay, my brain just turns to mush. Now for 3 days, I'm just reading. I'm trying to just like, I'm not in that creation mode. So it's not like I can't get anything done because I'm not an energy type. I just have to focus my energy differently. And I did find that bringing on a personal assistant has made my life so much easier because she does the generator type tasks. She answers my emails every day. She is on Instagram for me. When I'm like, here's the sales page, I speak it out into my phone on a Google Doc and she makes it beautiful. So, but then there's times when I want to do it. I'm like, oh, I'm feeling the urge. So I go in and do it. So for me, having that has been helpful. However, I worked my business for 2 years completely by myself. And there were just days when I didn't want to do it and I had to show up and do it anyways, because I had a business to run. And even though, yeah, maybe it was out of alignment or whatever, I'm sorry, I have 4 kids, I have bills to pay. So I'm going to be out of alignment, I guess, for 5 minutes while I go get this shit done, even though I don't really want to freaking do it right now, but I'm going to freaking make it happen because ain't nobody else going to do it and ain't nobody coming to pay my bills for me. You know what I mean? So I think the idea is that, yes, look at your energy type and think of that as the ideal point to get to. Maybe you're not going to be able to do that right now, just depending on your circumstance. Now, if you have a spouse or something that's paying the bills and you're trying to build your business completely in alignment, then yeah, you can do that. But if you are building your business because you need to make money to pay the bills, then sorry, sis, you're going to have to suck it up. Get out of alignment. I don't care. Do what you need to do. And then there's the projectors. Now, projectors, they don't even get the urges like manifestors get. They just have a very low energy. But that's not to say that they can't get stuff done, because when something lights them up, when they're passionate about something, they also get a little bit of energy. And here's the other thing too, is we absorb energy from each other. We're energy like things that are always giving and taking, right? So the cool thing is for those of us that don't have that constant source of energy, all we have to do is be within proximity to a generator and boom, we're going to be like, oh, okay, I can go. So if you've got a spouse or children that are generators, which most people do because generators make up 70%, you can tap into that. So, it's yes and no. Are they naturally a more, lower energy type? Yes. But is that going to stop? Does that need to stop somebody? No, absolutely not. And I know projectors, some really amazing projectors, and they blow me out of the water. They're showing up every day. They're going live. They're doing this because they love it. They're just in tune with it. It's their passion. They love, love, love it. And they blow me out of the water, as far as productivity.
I really like that. And that's the first time I've heard it explained in a way where it kind of like makes sense. So thank you for that. I'm now wanting to dive into it a little bit more. But before we get into that, tell us a little bit about those early days into where you are now, that journey that you went on, particularly with realizing that you didn't fit in following other people's rules.
I'm a manifestor in human design. We make up about 10% of the population, just to give you a little bit of context of kind of where I'm coming from. And our auras are very dense and thick. And we're here to initiate, we're here to get the ball rolling. We're not here to necessarily finish the stuff we start, which is why we need the other types to come in and help us out. Not to say that we can't. I have finished many things in my life, but energetically speaking, it's easier for me to start something than it would be for me to finish it. I had the hardest time making friends from a very young age. It just never came naturally to me. And I'd want friends and I'd be so sad because I didn't really have a lot of friends. And with manifestors, you get like a handful of people who absolutely adore you and love you. So I always had like 1 or 2 best friends, but I never had like the big circle of friends. And so I always thought there was something wrong with me. because my aura is so dense. And I didn't know that. I didn't know how to use my energy properly. Nobody taught me about this. I had no idea. And so now I know how to deal with my dense energy and my intimidating aura, but I didn't back then. And so it was very painful not being able to connect with people in the way that I wanted to. And so what that did as a kid is I completely withdrew. I completely just went into this little box. I became very people-pleasing, quiet, shy, was terrified of the world. I didn't want anything to do with anybody. I was very much like the kid sitting alone, eating my lunch, just head down, not talking, no eye contact, no nothing. So I literally just dropped out of school, stopped going to school together in the 10th grade. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I mean, and back in the 90s, there wasn't anything to do during the day. There wasn't anything online, so I could like look up information and figure out how I was going to like get through school. It was very limiting. And I laid there in the backyard. I was tanning and listening to Beatles tapes. There was literally nothing else to do. And I was just laying there, and every day I got angry, and I got angrier and angrier and angrier and so angry. And after about 2 months of being in that backyard, I had a breakdown. Like I just went, oh, what are you doing, Chelsie? You know what? Fuck this shit. I'm going to school. I don't care if I get my ass beat every day. I'm fighting back, and I'm not going to be this person anymore. I hate this person. So I ended up getting a nanny job. I put myself through private school, paid for it completely by myself so that I could make up the credits that I missed. And I showed up to 11th grade with short hair. I had dyed it. I had a nose piercing. I'd been driving all summer. I was like a totally different person. And I came walking onto that school with this whole freaking like, don't even touch me. Like, just don't. I'm not. This is who I am, and like whatever. And I got involved in everything. I was like on prom committee. I did Lakewood Cable Access. So I was a director on like a cable access show, and I was in choir. I did drama, and I did all the plays and all the things. And yeah, I just freaking lived my life. I've gone through periods in my life where I've slipped back into worrying too much about what other people think, especially when I got into some different businesses, you know, going and becoming a hairdresser, working in a salon, working for somebody else who's telling me what to do all the time. And, you know, there was always somebody pushing on my brake pedal, you know, and I'm a gas person. Let's go. Let's do the thing. Let's figure it out. Yeah, let's go get the bumps and bruises. Yeah, we're going to fuck shit up, and we're going to get up and keep going. And then there's the safety people who are going to push on my brake pedal. And I'm like, ah. So I left the salon and got out of there, figured out how to start making money completely on my own. And then I got into MLM, which was life-changing for me at the time, because for me, I feel like it was a little bit of training wheels. I had a little bit of stability and help and support while still kind of being able to do my own thing. And then after about 6 years of being in various MLMs, I realized I was kind of running into that same problem where there was a lot of people pressing on the brakes when I wanted to press on the gas. So I had to leave that situation and get into my own situation where I could just press the gas when I wanted to press it. Ain't nobody trying to press anything or get in my way. And that's actually completely in alignment with how my energy goes. Is my energy is actually built kind of, you know, in that intimidating way to move people out of the way. And manifestors are built to move people out of the way. Like, get out of my way, I'm doing something. Move, move, move. So learning that about myself really helped, because I knew as like an ENTP and a red personality. I mean, I've done every personality test under the sun, and I used to teach some different modalities within personality as well. So I knew a little bit about that about myself. But being able to see it in my actual energetic blueprint and have a deeper understanding of how my aura is and how all the energy runs through me helped me really understand like why people react to me like that when I walk in a room, why I have this effect on people where sometimes I literally piss people off just by existing because they feel the denseness and they can't handle it. So they feel like I'm moving them out of the way, even though I'm not intentionally doing that. That's what it feels like to them, that I'm pushing them out of the way. And then you have the people who are magnetized to me. And sometimes that's startling for me, because people will come in and just be like, oh my God, I love you. I love you. I love you. You're so great. And I'm like, who are you? What are you talking about? You don't even know me, but they're just so magnetized to me. So it's really, human design has helped me really be able to put into words, or just like have an actual understanding of why things happened the way they did, and why people react to me the way they do, and why I had such a hard time making friends when I was a child, and why I finally got so angry, because, and that's his manifestor thing too, is manifestor anger. We get freaking angry. We get so mad sometimes. And not that that's an excuse just to get mad all the time. It's not. But when we feel angry, not that we have to act on it, but when we feel that it's a signal for us that something's not right. It's a red flag. Something's not right. Like, anger is not where you're supposed to be. Manifestors are supposed to be peaceful. And so that's where human design comes in, helping guide me to better understand how to reach peacefulness, so that I don't feel angry all the time, so I can get into alignment. So yeah, so that's the background. And I guess I fast forwarded all the way until now.
Amazing. So you were mentioning earlier about, and I think it's really interesting, because a lot of women that are doing really cool stuff now seem to have started in MLM. And whatever connotations about it you have, but it seems like for a lot of women, it gave them like a framework to learn how to be an entrepreneur and the confidence to be an entrepreneur. And you were telling me about how you felt restricted in the MLM, and you were getting incredibly high residual checks, and you took a brave move and decided to leave that. So what happened next, right? What was happening at the time, and then what happened next to prompt you to leave, and then actually really go out on your own? And what did you decide to do?
Yeah, so while I was in, I was in one company, and it was my first company, and I joined that company simply to just make a little bit of extra money, because I actually wanted to go become a health coach. Because I told you in a previous conversation, just for the listeners, I was telling her earlier about how I'm very passionate about health, and not a big fan of big pharma, and I'm definitely a big fan of healthy approaches. So I wanted to become a health coach, but it wasn't in the budget. So I joined an MLM to make a little bit of extra money to pay for a tuition at the School of Integrative Nutrition, I think it's called. And I ended up making like $800 my first month. And I was mind blown, because I thought if I push hard enough, I can make the 200 that I needed. And so I made 800, and I was like, oh my gosh. And at the time, my husband at the time, he really discouraged me from joining. He was like, oh, those are dumb. You shouldn't join it. It's going to be a waste of money and yada, yada. So he wouldn't give me the money to sign up. So I sold some old stuff in the garage to get the money to sign up, and never told him. And so I'm sitting here making this money, and I can't spend it, because, then he'd know. But funny enough, what ended up happening is we had this boat, and the motor completely blew on it. And it was right before we had all these vacations planned for the lake and all that. And it was going to cost like $3,000 to fix this motor. And he was devastated, because we were living paycheck to paycheck. So we had nothing extra. And credit wasn't great. So it's not like we could go get a loan. Our parents have no money. So we were just like, So I literally went, oh, hold on a second. I went in the room, grabbed all my cash. It was $3,000. And he was like, what? Where'd you get that? And I'm like, that little thing that you told me not to do? Well, I did it anyways. And he was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So a month later, he lost his job. And I had just started making enough to where I could kind of carry the family. And he ended up going back to work. And so what I realized, though, with this company was that I couldn't stand the product. I had gotten into it just to make money, not really because I fell in love with the product. So I was like, if I'm going to really do this full time, I want to work with a company that I love the product. So being that I'm a hairdresser, makeup artist, that kind of thing, I got into a makeup company and it was all natural. So I was like, yes, an all natural makeup company. Yes, this is great. Well, after about a year, they started completely adding all these new products that were just crap ingredients. They weren't doing the natural thing anymore. And I was like, okay, I can't keep selling this. So I decided, because I had been so successful at both of these, that I was going to start teaching social media. And I wasn't sure exactly what that looked like yet, but I knew I wanted to write a book because there's a lot of things. I love MLM and I definitely have no problem promoting it at all. But just like in corporate America, there's problems. Anywhere you go where there's a group of people working together, you're going to have issues, disagreements, stuff that you don't like. And so I was actually going to write an expose book on a lot of the things that aren't talked about in MLM. So I had that ready to go. It's still written. I never published it, but I still have it. And this other company just sort of like fell in my lap. And it was a cleaner ingredient company. Everything was at the time very much in alignment with what I was doing. And I was like, perfect. And I asked them specifically, if I sign up and build this company with you, can I teach social media? Because that's really what I want to do. So I want to build my own social media coaching business. And they were like, oh yeah, that's totally fine. So I jumped in, I put that on the back burner. I jumped into building this company. I was like number 800 that signed up to this company. And now there's like 100,000 people. So I got in very early and I just pedal to the metal. And 11 months later, it was at the top of the company, making 5-figure paychecks. Everything was great. So then I was like, okay, now I can finally build this. Literally when I just pivoted to say, okay, now I'm going to start going and building my social media company, they literally changed the policy saying that no beauty guide could charge for teaching social media or anything like that. And I was all, wait, what? Like I was building that before I even started. I felt like such a rug pull and it broke my heart. So I was like, are you kidding? I felt so betrayed. I was hurt. So I immediately went to the owner of the company and I'm like, you know, is there any way we can work around this? And there was somebody else who was high up in the company who also wanted to build her own social media. So her and I got together and we were coming up with proposals on how we could do this and make it work. And everything was just shot down. Finally, I got on the phone with her and I said, I need to know whether I'm going to be able to do this. And she said, it's a firm absolute no. And I mean, I literally just started crying. And she got mad at me because I started crying. And I was like, okay, whatever. So at this point, I was definitely at a crossroads, you know, either bite my lip, bite my tongue, and keep doing what I'm doing. The money is great. The money was absolutely fantastic for you know, not doing very much work. But, you know, selling makeup is not my big dream in life. You know what I mean? Like that wasn't my impact that I was really here to make. And I knew that in my heart of hearts. So then I came to them and I said, well, if I don't teach social media, what if I teach like health coaching and stuff like that? So I got the green light for that. So I was like, okay. So I started doing stuff within like health coaching and stuff like that. And that was really taking off. And then I kind of put that on the back burner because it was hard to do two businesses at once. You know, I'm doing my health coaching thing and then I'm trying to do my MLM thing. And then it also caused drama with other leaders because they didn't like the fact that I was building another business and they felt it was somehow taking away from them. And there was a lot of scarcity going on with that. So I kind of put that on the back burner. And then I'm sitting there just going, okay, I'm not happy with this MLM. I'm being restricted from doing what I want to do. The choice was clear, but the money, it was hard. It was really hard. You know, I was making, you know, 10, 15, sometimes, you know, close to $20,000 a month, residual, just ongoing incoming money. and, you know, not having to do a whole lot of work, because you're, you know, you're managing your team, you're talking to clients, but it just simply wasn't that much work. And there just came a day, it was almost like that day in my backyard when I was 15, where I just got so mad, like these people are holding me back. And I just got so mad, the same kind of feeling kind of just came through me. And I got so mad because I watched somebody high up in the company say something to us, you know, top ranking people, and then literally turn around and go into the company's like main page where all the people were, and say something completely contradictory. And meanwhile, they were also like changing our pay structure, which was going to remove some pay, and then trying to make it look like we were saints for giving it up for the greater good, even though none of us agreed to it. It was just kind of done, you know, stuff like that. And that's when I literally said, okay, fuck this shit. I'm done cutting it off. I don't care if I fucking fall on my face. If we end up homeless, well, I know we can use the tent in the garage. Like, I don't know. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep doing this. It was definitely my breaking point. I can't keep fucking doing this. And I told my partner, I'm like, I just resigned. And, you know, he kind of was like, okay. And he was the house dad. He took care of the kids. He did all the running around. He did the groceries. Anytime I needed something sent out or whatever, he was doing it. So he was like my assistant, the house cleaner. That, you know, he was basically like a housewife, but the man. And so, you know, I was the sole breadwinner. So walking away from that income was definitely like, I hope you can build the plane on the way down, because I don't know where this is going. But I had already had some ideas. So I got to work. And this is when, you know, as a manifester, I'm not really built to work. But that first month, you better believe I was working. You know, if I wasn't sleeping, I was working. Second I woke up, I was working. I was creating, I was talking to people, I was marketing, I was sales, all the things. Go. And I ended up covering more than my paycheck, just completely on my own. Now, I couldn't keep up at that pace forever, because that was an incredible pace, but I, you know, when you have to do it, when you have to show up, you show up. But yeah, that was definitely a scary thing. It was. And I was powered by my own anger, because I was so frustrated at the situation, and it was kept building up to the point where I was just like, oh my God, no, I'm done. Like, cut the cord, I'm done. But afterwards, yeah, there was that moment of, what the hell did I just do? Okay, time to work.
It was the right decision by the sounds of things.
Yep.
And now you're multiple six-figure businesswoman, like doing your own thing. I really like having the discussion of getting to six figures, because this is the number that a lot of women fixate on, and they get frustrated if they don't hit it in 3 months. So I noticed on your website, you said it took 5 years to get your first six figures. Is that right?
Yes.
So was that including the MLM, or was that when you went off on your own? What was that journey like? And how did you keep going? Because that's a long time.
It is a long time. The numbers that I put out there, sometimes they're arbitrary, and sometimes there's missing context, because there was such a journey of entrepreneurship, you know, coming off of not wanting to be in the salon anymore, and then doing my own thing. I got a writing gig. So I was doing writing for like 10 years, and then getting into MLM, which is getting back into a position where people got to tell me what to do, and then going back out on my own. So there has been like a lot of movement towards that. And, you know, even though in my business, I pretty much slid pretty quickly into six figures as far as when I started making my own stuff, I will tell you that I would not have been able to do that had I not been building up my following and doing sales and marketing for the 6 years that I was in MLM. Mm-hmm. You know, so that's why I count those 6 years. And it took me those 6 years of learning my craft and learning how to position myself and learning about messaging and branding and personal branding. And, you know, I was talking about personal branding before anybody even knew what the heck that was. And that took you know, that 6 years when I was in MLM, I built up to that 6 figures. And yeah, I absolutely believe that I needed to learn those skills. I didn't have any of those. I mean, I had a few things that came to me naturally, you know what I mean? But I didn't understand how to articulate to somebody, you need to have a personal brand, and here's why, and here's what that means, and here's how to do it, and blah, blah, blah. So I had to learn all that stuff, and it takes time. It absolutely
Yes.
takes time. And sometimes it's frustrating because you see like the unicorns out there who go, oh my gosh, I'm in business now. And then like 2 weeks later, they're like, I made $1 million. And you're like, damn, what the hell is wrong with me? But you just got to realize, you know, we're all on our own journeys, and we all have our own hurdles mentally, you know, depending on where we came from, how much you believe in yourself, what your energy is doing, what your capacity. I mean, there's so many different things. And so to compare to the comparison thing, you know, that's going to fuck you up quicker than anything.
I tell my clients, or any woman really, like, when you start a business, all of your shit is going to come out, like everything.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
like all of
For
your
sure.
insecurities, all of your shit. And it's
Yep.
really making sure that you are taking care of yourself. You are learning yourself. You are doing things in service of yourself. And, you know, what you were talking about earlier with the energy, when we are locked into something that's like, it's our purpose, it's our passion,
Yes.
then there's no stopping us, no matter what our energy is, no matter whether we're
Yes.
ADHD, you know, because I work with a lot of women that are ADHD. ADHD to me, it's like I was a highly intelligent, very curious young person that they didn't know how to deal with that in school, you know, because it's like, I just didn't want to sit still. So
Yep.
the thing that was affliction was actually my superpower. And when you get locked into something that you are very excited and passionate about, there's no getting you out. You know, you can stay in it for days. These labels that we've been given, the imposter syndrome, all of the things that we were given as women, especially the scarcity mindset that you talked about, like, a couple of years ago was when I started realizing this power of sisterhood. And when we all come together and support each other rather than try to fight with each other, we're unstoppable. And it's no wonder that they want us to be fighting with each other, because it's effortless when we come together and really support each other. It's all around the 6 figures and the learning with business. These are new skills. And when we were born, we didn't come out walking. We didn't come out being able to run. You know, there's a process that we have to go through, and we have to go through that process when we're learning new skills in business. And where I have seen women hit 6 figures quickly or have success with business quickly is when they already have, you know, a built-in audience like you had.
Yes, exactly. And I just want to throw this in there for any of the listeners that are struggling with that. You know, I am very observant. Like I really pay so close attention to these little things. So when somebody has quick success, 2 things happen. First of all, I'm like, go you, because I do believe we're all part of the same energy. So I'm like, that person is a little bit of me. So that's actually me out there rocking it out. All right, go me, go that version of me. And then I'm like, but that was really fast. There's something else here, right? So I was listening to this one coach, and she's like $1 million, multi-million-dollar a year coach, right? Now I'm going through some of her older stuff, and one of her older things, she says, I took my 20 years in advertising and marketing at this big corporation and started my coaching business. Well, of course you're going to freaking jump in and like make stuff happen. You're already an expert at what you're doing. What? Like, some people come into this industry, the coaching industry, and they don't have 20 years of experience. They don't maybe have the 6 years that I spent, not only the 6 years that I spent in MLM, but even the time before that when I was doing writing. I was still building social media pages and still trying to have a presence and learning about SEO and building websites and all of that. I can still code, I can still write HTML coding and like do stuff like that I learned back when I was doing writing. And everybody can do that. You don't just wake up one day and be like, oh, now I can write an HTML coding stuff, you know? Yeah, so there's absolutely there's skills that have to go through that. And then there's the people who go, oh, I had $1 million a year, da, 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 da. And then you find out that they paid, you know, $50,000 in ads, and they have this team that they're paying and all this stuff. And then they got a nanny and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, so your 2 million in profit or 2 million in sales really was only like 500,000 in profit, and 500,000 is not that big of a deal. Okay. So like talking to myself, like, so chill out, you know, like these people are not really doing that much better than you. Okay.
I had a woman on the show who is a OBM, like quite high level strategic OBM, which is an online business manager. So they basically come in and run your business behind the scene. It's like a strategic virtual assistant in a way. And she was telling me the same thing. She's like, you know, when these people talk about 6 figures, 7 figures, like whatever they're earning, they're talking about revenue. They're not talking about like profit. And she's like, most of them are spending, you know, 50% of that to actually earn that
easily.
That's the other thing. We compare ourselves to what we're seeing, which is the edit reel on social, and actually we're not seeing behind the scenes. So I'm curious, I want to touch on the Telegram stuff while we're still here. So you happened to on this channel. What made you decide to like dig into this and also offer training on this?
So like I said, I had been fed up with Facebook for quite some time. And I was already actively looking for somewhere else that I could build a community, bring my audience, have a way to connect with people and have that back and forth that email doesn't provide. Because everybody's always like, build your email list. But I'm like, okay, I get it. And I want to email people, but it doesn't feel satisfying to me the way that connecting with people on social media does. So Gab was not it. And MeWe was not it. And so I ended up thinking that Discord was the answer. And I found out about Discord because a few of my coaches or mentors that I had worked with, and they were using Discord for their community. So I started getting into it. And then I found out that they actually censor. They're very sensory too. Not as bad as Facebook, but they still censor. And I was like, gosh, dang it. Can I not speak anywhere? Like, what the heck? So then I started looking into Mighty Networks and to circle.io. And those are very nice platforms. I mean, they're all right. But if you want any sort of features, well, circle.io you have to pay for. And it's basically community. So you're basically getting Facebook groups, but you're not really getting all the other things. And at the time, they didn't have live streaming. And it was like $40 a month. I don't have a problem paying $40 a month, but I know a lot of people when they're starting their business or people that are in MLM or whatever, they're not going to pay $40 a month to host their community right off the bat. So I thought this would work for me, but I want something that's going to work for everybody, just like Facebook does. And I didn't feel like Circle was going to be that. So I also looked at Mighty Networks. I just didn't like the platform. It didn't have the same features that Facebook had. There was a lot of limitations. And if you wanted to have any reasonable features and have like room for enough people, you had to pay. So again, it came down to, okay, I can do it, but are my people all going to be able to? And some people just want to create communities for fun. They don't necessarily aren't even trying to monetize it. So I just was like banging my head against the wall. And I'm like, what am I even going to do? So somebody messaged me about Discord and was like, have you thought about Telegram? And I'm like, Telegram? That's where like everybody went to go like talk about Donald Trump and stuff. I just felt like it was like how Parler came on the scene, but it was all politics and stuff. And I do love to talk about politics, but I just felt like it had that connotation, I guess, just like, oh, you're going to go there to talk politics. So I thought, okay, Chelsie, get that out of your head. Don't worry about what other people have said. Don't worry about who's on there. Take all that out of the picture. You, Chelsie, can always find stuff in where other people aren't seeing it. I didn't have a group for the longest time. I did everything on my Facebook profile. People were blown away. So I started teaching people how to use your Facebook profile, how to monetize your Facebook profile and run your entire business. I built a 6-figure business completely on my Facebook profile. I did nothing else. I had no groups. I wasn't on Instagram. I did nothing else. So I felt like, you need to go and look at Telegram with your eyes. Take everything away of what you think and what you've seen and everything. Just go there with a fresh set of eyes. So I downloaded the app again and I went in And I'm like, okay, the first thing I need to do is figure out if I can have a group here, because I do want to build community. So it wasn't very straightforward. I had to do a lot of digging and research to figure out how it all connected and how people could comment, and then where the comments go and how the containers kind of work together. But I was like, holy crap, I can have a group here. And then I started really digging, because that kind of sparked the excitement. And then I was like, can I go live? Oh shit, I can go live. But where you go live at, it's not really native. There's not a big like go live button, how there is on Facebook, where it's like go live. So you have to know where it is. So then I was like, oh my God, I can do this. Oh my God, I can do this. And I was just like mind blown. I'm like, why aren't we all on this app? Why aren't we all on Telegram? This is amazing. And it has actually more features than Facebook does. Now, it is lacking ads. I've always been into organic growth, so that didn't bother me. So you can't buy ads, and there's no business pages. But I'm like, you don't need a business page because you just have a channel. And that was the other thing that I connected the dots for with people, was that everybody loves their personal profile on Facebook. And so what I was like, but you can create a channel for anything. You can create a channel for your personal profile. You can create a channel for your group. You can create a channel for your business page. You can create a channel. You could have multiple personal profiles. So if you want a personal profile for your business people, a personal profile for your mom and aunt and uncle, you know, you could like create whatever you want. And so I started telling people about these features, and they were like, well, you can't do this. I was like, yes, you can. And they're like, well, you can't do this. I was like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. I was like so excited to have found this. So it was a no-brainer for me. It was just that manifestor urge that took over. When that takes over me, I'm like a zombie. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just like, I got to tell all the people, and I'm typing and I'm creating. I think I wrote that 30-day email sequence in like 2 days. And I was just on it. And because I was like, people need to know about this. And I knew also, if I told them up front that it was Telegram, that they would write it off and wouldn't give it a chance. I knew that because I did the same thing. They kept saying Telegram. And I'm like, nah, not Telegram. And I knew that. And a couple of people that I told about Telegram, they were just like, not Telegram. So I kind of hit it. And I said, you guys, I found a new social platform and you can do all these things. Who's interested? And then they go watch my video, and I don't even say it's Telegram until the very end. And I'm like, it's Telegram, because it's like, I got to show people the capabilities and the features and get them excited, and then tell them that it's Telegram, because Telegram has such a stigma to it as being like this super political platform where everybody just shouts out their opinions, and like that's all it is. So yeah, totally excitement driven, and just like one of those things that I'm so passionate about, because I feel like we need something different. Facebook was great for a very long time, but we've evolved. We're different now, and Facebook took a left and a lot of us took a right. And so we need to find a new home. And so I'm just really trying to spread the word and help people understand that they do have options. Now, if they're happy on Facebook, cool, more power to you. But there's a lot of people that are not happy on Facebook. And I have people contacting me all the time, companies, like, how can we get on Telegram? We really want to get on Telegram. What are you, how do we do this? Because even companies are tired of Facebook's BS. And just this last week, one coach, she's like $1 million earner, very big in the industry, been in Forbes, very big name. Her Facebook profile, boom, gone, banned for no reason. For no freaking reason. Somebody else that I know, their group got completely shut down, like it just doesn't exist anymore. That sucks. Because when you're building a group on Facebook, you're putting a lot of time and effort into building freebies and funnels and getting people in there. So to have your group taken away, that's just mean, especially when it was like a money manifestation group. What? They weren't talking politics in there. They weren't doing anything wrong. And her group is gone, banned, no reason given. That's your livelihood.
The thing about Facebook is they earn money off you creating free content, and they're doing whatever they can to keep you on there as much as possible. So from my perspective, in terms of like mental health and productivity, it's a terrible place to be, because they're not concerned with your well-being at all. They just want to make money off of you. So they prioritize people that pay them money as well. But Anyway, I'm really curious because I just loved your email sequence. Is that something that you just like came up with? Like, I need to do a 30-day email sequence, or was this something you've learned over time? I'm gonna drop the link to this in the show notes because I think it's super important for people to look at this as a channel. And the more people that we get on there, the more active it will be. But it was super useful, and I bought the things. And like I said, I've never done that before. So is this a craft you've been honing?
It was totally just a download. I've never been a consistent email person at all. And what was happening with Telegram is because there's so much information. I mean, a lot of us, how long ago did you get on Facebook? Were you there like really early on?
Yeah, I was in university.
Yes, that's exactly when I got on too. And back then we had, well, our profile was the wall. We had our wall, and that was it. You couldn't even post a photo. It was text only. It was almost like Twitter, kind of. And look at it now. It's crazy with the amount of features. In fact, I just recently went live on there, and it's like a whole different show just going live. I'm all, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So now you can imagine if somebody who had never been on Facebook before got on Facebook right now and tried to figure it all out, it'd be super overwhelming, right? There's so many layers to it. So that's kind of how I approach Telegram. I realized if I just give everybody all the things right now, their brain is going to explode and they're going to walk away because they're going to be like, this is way too much. So I tried to create the excitement in the video, get people excited about the possibilities. And then I needed that 30-day email sequence to really break everything down slowly and surely. And a lot of stuff is a repeat of what I showed in the video, but in that video, you know, it goes so fast. It's so fast. And it's more about the excitement and like, look what you can do. Look at the possibility. So in the 30-day email sequence, I just needed that time because I was like, and also when I wrote the email sequence, I was still figuring things out and still realizing there was more. It was like every day, you know, it was like that guy on the infomercials, but wait, there's more. And so I couldn't go add it back into the video. So I had the emails. I was like, okay, well, I'll tell them in the emails and like, oh, look at this and look at that. And so that first 30 days, it's a daily email. And then after that, it just goes to weekly for a little while. But yeah, that was totally just me being strategic in the fact that I wanted this information to stick. I wanted it to not seem as overwhelming because I want people there. I really want people to go over there and check it out. And I hadn't even planned on monetizing any of it. I was just going to give it all for free because, again, it was just a passion, like get everybody over there. And then I was like, well, I'm just going to put like a really low price tag on a little something just to compensate me for my time, because honestly, I put so much time, and I do spend a lot of time in my entrepreneur training channel for free, helping people as much as possible. And then I found that there was a lot of people who really wanted me to hold their hands and walk them through the process. So they were paying me like $200 to $300 to sit with them for 2 or 3 hours, literally just walking them through. And after my third or fourth time of that, I was like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not a repetitive kind of person. Once I start repeating myself, I'm like, I'm making a video. Go watch the video. Like, I don't like to repeat myself. So I ended up creating a course. And I'm so glad that I did, because Telegram has so many new things. It's literally adding features at such an incredible rate. Every like a month or two, they add like 5 or 6 really incredible features. So having a place to put that in the course is really great. So I did end up making a self-study course for people that maybe have a virtual assistant business and want to learn how to use Telegram so they can run it for their clients. Or I have so many businesses coming to me wanting me to run their Telegram for them. Now, I don't have the time nor the patience to do that. So for me, that's a no. But there's a lot of people out there could make a business running corporate people's Telegrams for them. So I'm like, take this course, because you can literally monetize the heck out of this.
What a great idea, because this is really like the beginning of something, and it's something that I am really interested in. But this year for me is all about outsourcing, right? So it's like, I would love to run a Telegram channel, but also I'm trying to like streamline. So Yes,
Yeah.
anybody that wants to take Chelsea's course and then come talk to me about running my Telegram channel.
There you go.
Like,
Yes.
I'm
Or you
totally
can-
down for that.
Or you can get the course and give it to your virtual assistant and say, here, figure it out.
Yes.
My virtual
take it.
assistant, she came in, she didn't know anything about Telegram, and I was figuring it out, and I told her, go watch this course. Even when she
Love
came
it.
in, because she didn't know that much about Instagram, I was like, go watch my course. So it takes some of the pressure off me too. But yeah, if you are a business person and you have a virtual assistant and you don't want to mess with learning Telegram, have them do it.
And by the way, like I get no referral fees from this. I just thought like her content was so fire and so helpful. And like I said, all these emails are coming through and I would like dip into them. I'm like, there's really good stuff in here. And one night I just filtered everything and I went through your email one by one and like went through all the things and set up my Telegram, and it was really great. And I really enjoy your content. I really enjoy the fact that you are creating a space for people to be able to speak their truth and be themselves and be uncensored. And I feel like there's a round two. We need to like, there's so much that we can talk about and so much alignment. I'm like, oh, we could talk about the health stuff, the GMOs.
Yeah, for one time we'll have to get on, and maybe I'll have you on my podcast.
Yes.
And I'll read your chart for you, and we can go through the chart and talk a little bit about productivity and what it says in your chart and figure out all of that. So yeah, we're definitely going to have a round two.
I would absolutely love that. And before we sign off, I like to ask everybody on the show to give me your definition of what living unrestricted is.
Oh,
what does
okay,
living
so
unrestricted mean to you?
To me, living unrestricted, immediately the first thing that comes to mind is living completely outside of the parameters of what other people think, and really having that boundary of respecting somebody else's thoughts about something, but also not making it mean anything about you. Like, you can absolutely think that way, feel that way, live your life that way, and that means nothing about who I am and what I'm doing over here. And being so secure and confident in yourself that you're not allowing any other outside influence to restrict you.
Yes.
Yay!
I love it so much. You are amazing. I'm so glad we finally made this happen. Thank you so much for taking the time to share
it's my
your
pleasure.
story. Super inspiring. Go and check out all of Chelsea's stuff. She's amazing. Get on her Telegram channels. I've been really enjoying that too. So thank you so much. I know you need to go and run and pick up your son.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. And thank you for talking to everybody and getting all this stuff out there and highlighting women who are just making a difference, because that's important too. What you're doing is incredibly important work. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of Unrestricted. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a minute to leave a review or give me a little shout out on Instagram at Athena.Simpson. If you'd like more content from me on getting unrestricted, sign up for my newsletter, where you'll get an email from me with the 3 things that I've been devouring to optimize my life and business. It might include hacks, tips, experiments, resources, books, podcasts, and more, all to help you get more unrestricted. It's totally free and you can unsubscribe at any time. So go ahead and sign up at AthenaSimpson.com/newsletter.